Hey guys, this is my third video. We're just going through and making some basic classes for if you're new to the game and you feel overwhelmed by all of the choices. Um, so in this one, we will be going over Hunter. I made a little build here. We're sticking with unaligned for now for these beginning videos. Um, I picked Elf more so for roleplay purposes than anything else, just because Elf with a bow is cool. So we went Glade Elf. I like the idea of a stronger elf with slashing and piercing, and these starting cards are really good for a new player too. I feel it's a really low cost, gives you resist against physical, gives you a heal card that you can cycle, and that's also a really strong effect. I'll try not to spend too much time on character creation, but just so we're going Elf, Glade Elf. And then I picked Trophy Collector for Hunter. Um, I'm sticking with backgrounds that don't give me new skills or abilities. So Memories of Past Life plus LP, and also plus one hand size, I think, is the more important thing for when you're new. You can feel like you're not drawing enough cards. And this is how I worked out my stats. I have Forsaken subtlety and perform, which could fit fine in the build. You could not forsake either one of those if you wanted, but just to keep things a little simpler, I have my bow abilities, some survival. I'm gonna have some potioning going on, and then some intimidate skills, and then just a heavy strength agility build here. Um, just real quick, you want to try to always have your intellect at least 14 because it gives you one more card draw, and that's on top of the memories past. And then if you have agility, basically 14 is the magic number for a lot of skills. So anything you don't use, you can dump, and then you try to get at least 14. I might have wanted to get 14 in willpower, and then I would have one more AP per turn, but I hope. I don't think it'll make a huge difference. I hope it doesn't make a huge difference, but we'll find out, I guess. And then for starting gear, I picked Hunter's Gear 2 just because it has some more healing items. And those early game fights can sometimes be rough. It's good to have a way to protect yourself. So I think that's everything. We are just doing quest difficulty gauntlet 3 stages. So first thing, let's go to our character select. Equipped our leather armor and bow. Go to our deck, and then I like to try to get as close to the minimum deck size as I can, which is 24 here. So let's see if there's anything that we can cut. I don't think we need 3 of these. Cut one of those. Basically anything that's 3 cards, I usually cut down. So this is a really good card. This is a an elf starting card, I think. I think maybe not. I know it's wooden, the wooden and the makeshift, and then there's one more, but I can't remember. Maybe it was this one, but either way, this is a really good card. It does a lot of damage and makes your next ability do a lot of damage. So I don't really want to cut this. This I think we can cut. Mark is like vulnerable, except a little bit better. 2 damage uh, per counter instead of one, and it stacks with vulnerable. And it's important to have, if you can, both Mark and vulnerable, because sometimes certain monsters will be immune to one but not the other. But I think I can cut this down for now. Okay, so 24 cards. Usually, sometimes what I'll do um, as well is just go straight in with my full deck, and then as I see cards that aren't really living up to their potential, I'll cut them then. So you can do it either way. You can do it however you want. So we have a whole. These 2 guys are flanking, so I don't really have to worry too much about these. These 2 guys are going to hit me, so I want to try to deal with these guys. So Let's see. This is a cool card to have. We might just keep this in our hand in case we take some damage, but we'll see. So let's mark him, and then longbow. Oh, let's use this, and they'll make our next ability. This will make it mark again, and our next ability have plus damage. Oh wow, we one shot that guy. So this has plus damage. All right, let's wooden side. Desmond bleed, so we're not going to take any damage. And then, do we want to use this? I guess we can use it on these guys. And then we can get rid of this. You can either drag or you can control left click. And when using cards, you can either right click the cards and they'll activate on whatever the target in the front is. So like longbow, if I right click it, it will hit this guy. Or you can drag it. So if it's something that can hit um, different targets, you can drag it and drop it on who you want. Something like this that has multicast 2, it's going to cast on the first 2 enemies that are in the front. So even if there was, say, another enemy here and I dropped it here, it would still just hit these 2. So just something to be aware of. So this camouflage, what's neat about it is the concealment works well with sneak attack. So I didn't take subtlety, but if I would have taken subtlety, it would have synergized really well with this camouflage, because if you have camouflage, it's consumed, and then you can sneak attack, which is like a bonus multiplier. All right, so inevitable, vulnerable. That sounds good. And then let's throw fire at him, and then target practice. This deck seems very strong. um, So then, after battle, are there any cards we can level up? We can level up Hunter's Brew, so let's use that. And then, do I want to hold on to these? I think I'm going to hold on to this card because it seems really good. There's not a lot of cards in. Oh well, I accidentally used it on myself. There's not a lot of cards in the survival kit, but this is really strong. 2 bleed 5, resist 2 against all physical, and then when you get attacked, the target takes 2 damage. Ow. Oh, I inflicted bleed on myself. That was an accident. Usually I don't. I was trying to click on it to see the card list, but that's all right. We're making the game. We're playing our own hard mode. That silver dagger's kind of nice. And it has sneak attack, and we have that camouflage. But it's like all of our gold. But I think that's fine. Just for. I probably wouldn't if I was playing by myself, but for this video, let's get it. So we can get in some sneak attacks. And then let's put in that other camouflage back in so we can get more sneak attacks. And oh yeah, this will stop the bleeding. Look at that. See, we came prepared, and now we're just fine. We'll just. I think I can get away with cutting these. We'll keep one in case something is immune to everything except entangle. All right, so here we get to summon our pet. The hunter gets a pet that is on the field for an unlimited amount of time, and then you can like use this card to make him hunt, and you get meat that you can eat to restore health. Or I'm not sure if I just don't completely understand this skill or what, but 5 costs to raise his damage by 1 and his max health by 2 just doesn't seem that strong to me, unless it's affects him forever even after he dies and you resummon him, but I don't think that's how it works. So I'm wondering if this is just kind of a leftover card and cost from the previous version of this game, where plus damage and health buffs were a little less common. I'm not sure. But either way, let's get that wolf. Let's put him on the field. Let's see, what can he do? He can craft track. think if I for oh wait, it's this one. If you ally info, we can click that and then we can see what track does. So effortless, and it marks them. Dispel concealment, dispel cover. So the mark is really strong. That means 0 cost, and it will make the target take 8 more damage from the next attack. So our wolf can either attack or he can create that card for us. I think he's going to be creating that card for us because he doesn't even hit for 8 damage, and he would lose health by hitting stuff. Um, Another trick with companions that you can do is even if there's like no enemies or whatever, if they have an activatable ability that like creates a card or does something that where they don't need a target or something, you can right click them even if there's not a battle, and we can hold on to this until the next battle and also have him create another one, and he gets experience. You can see where it says companion level 1 for using his ability, and as he levels up, his stats, his health, and his damage and everything will go up. So always try to, if you're you on the higher difficulties, you'll want to be maximizing the experience your cards get. So that's a good way to do it. But this guy's going to be really strong. So we can, let's see, cut. We can keep this. Get rid of that. Taunt, weaken, vulnerable, plus damage. Sure. Let's keep these cards. So put the single combats to the front. The flank guy's not a big deal. This deck doesn't have a lot of crowd control, like stuns and freezes and stuff, but we have a ton of damage. So since this has a lightning bolt, it's a reaction card. So if we play any other card, it's going to get discarded. So this should be our first card we play. All right, let's see. Will this guy just die? 11 to 16. Not quite, but close. I don't really want to. Let's do the camouflage silver dagger. 15 to 25, right? Yeah. Well, let's have our wolf create another mark for us and mark this guy. And then I think I'm going to save the taunt for this last guy in case we don't kill this guy, so we can lower his damage, but I'm pretty sure we're going to kill this guy. Okay, and then let's do mark skirmish. And then let's see, should we hold on to this? It's kind of, we're wasting the synergy, but we're okay on AP. And the card doesn't level up. I think it's fine. Oh, well, there I just made a mistake. So this card makes them taunt, which makes them attack. So his flank changed into attack, and so I ended up taking some damage because of that. I usually don't use intimidate, so I didn't even realize that. But that's what happened there. But we're okay. I think we'll survive. So since he's dead, let's see if we can level up anything. We can level up quite a fair amount of stuff. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. Our next thing is not a battle, so it's okay if we're really low on AP. If the next one was a battle, I would have to think, okay, do I want to level up my skill, or do I want to save some AP so I can go into the next fight at full AP? So since the next thing is to pick a skill, we can just not work. 41 damage. That was what was that? Vulnerable? Double critical. That was a big hit. Synergy damage, synergy damage. Oh, because we had 2 synergy effects stacked together. Oh, or we got the double. Yeah, that's what it was, the double. So it was 21 damage and then doubled. So let's right click this guy. Study the book. So here's some alchemist cards. I really like the clarity. Lose HP, restore AP, and AP is one of the most valuable resources to me. This card's good too. Makes our next ability freeze, and we're lacking CC. This one maybe if we were going for a poison build, so I think I'm gonna put this in the deck. And then these smoke outs, well, they do weaken. All right, we'll keep one of them for the next battle, and I think we can set aside the taunt for now. I wonder if we should cut the taunts. The weaken will be helpful against like bosses, like stuff we won't be able to kill fast, so we need them to do reduce damage to us. So maybe just cut it down to 1. Let's try that. So single combat attack, single combat. Let's kill this guy first. Mark. Move him to the. Let's go Mark, and then let's go Mark, and then let's go smoke out. Yeah, and then do we have any concealment? We do not. So we do 1 damage to this guy, and then this can probably finish off the last guy. Defensive stance and attack. Okay, I don't really want my wolf to get hit, and single combat is that you can see here if you hover over it, alt and left click, you can see what it will do. Picks a random ally, so he's going to attack our ally, and then our ally would deal damage back to him. But I want to try to keep our wolf alive, so I'm going to focus on killing this guy, and this should kill him. And then we'll give this guy the bleed. So that worked out perfectly. Alright, we have a treasure next. We don't need 2 of those. Does anything level up? This levels up. And we can spend the AP. Okay, what do we got? Snipe shot. Don't need that camouflage. Don't need 2 target practices. Let's cut this snipe shot for now because it's a reaction. So our wolf's power will give us 2 reactions, so it's kind of pointless to keep it in our hand. That's the thing about reactions, is they usually have more powerful effects, but if you fill your deck with too many of them, then you risk drawing 2 of them in a turn, and then one of them is going to get discarded. But reaction effects on allies is really strong because they're not in your decks. You just create them. Chest was locked. Okay, so now that we have our wolf pet, when we use this, we can have it do a different one. We can do the Let's Train, which we don't have enough hunting for yet, or the Hunt. Let's do the Hunt. And then I'm doing that. I know I just said 2 reactions, but that was more so just to level him up. He's almost level 2 now. Let's just keep all these cards. We can actually, since we're going to use the Hunt, we can discard this, even though we just created it. But we still get we get the XP, and then we get the card out of our hand. All right, single target or single combat. So this we have to use first because it's a reaction. So the teamwork, the way this card works, I'm pretty sure I remember. I just want to make sure I say it right. So you use it. We use it on our ally, and he needs to have not been activated. So he must have not attacked this turn or used his ability where he gets darkened out and you can't use him again. And then he becomes darkened out from using the teamwork, and our next ability will have plus chaotic, and we'll craft a venison. Oh, I think we craft the venison regardless, but the chaotic part only happens if we right click him. If he's in his active state, which just means he can either attack or use his ability. So let's check it out, see what it does. So venison, which is so it will reactivate our pet and heal him. Though since the next ability gave us chaotic, it added damage to it. So if we tried to use this on our pet right after he hunted, it would actually, I think it would damage our pet. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like it would, which is kind of funny, but I'm not sure. So let's just, since it's not a reaction, let's just hold on to it for a turn. That chaotic's pretty nice for adding to these cards. If we could work something out where we got that chaotic and we're in stealth, and use something with a sneak attack, that would probably be a ton of damage. So let's use this one because it hits two random enemies as well. Okay. Let's do camouflage, hunter brew, skirmish, silver dagger. Okay, and then this venison is kind of expensive. It does reactivate him, but we don't really need him reactivated, and we're low on AP. So I'm just going to discard it, even though we could use it to level it up. Oh, it barely gets any stronger for being leveled up, so I'm not even going to worry about it. So these guys will flank, which just lowers the defend that we had built up, and then this should be a pretty easy cleanup. Let's use on this guy. And let's do... We only need to do 2 damage to this guy because we can bleed him. Pretty sure we can clean this up pretty easily. Taunt. Okay, see if there's anything to level up. There isn't. And then, so this is the boss. So Playful Leap is, let's do the ability details, Alt plus left click. So he's going to, I don't think it says it here. Well, basically what it does is the frog kills himself and puts a card in your hand that well, I'll just show you. But then we got a flank, and then we have an unknown intent. So let's try to stack markup on this guy. More mark. Ooh, and we can probably stack bleed too, but we don't know yet if this guy is immune to bleed. As you fight guys, you will learn what they're resistant to or what they're immune to. Like this guy is immune to bleed or resistant. Maybe it's just on harder difficulties they're immune, and on lower difficulties they're just more likely to resist it. But we don't know what this guy's resistances are yet. So let's just use 1 to see if the bleed happens. Okay, so it looks like he can have bleed applied to him. So let's do that. Ooh, I wonder if he's weak against silver, because he's a whatever he is. He's a desert worm. Probably not. Silver is usually good against supernatural things. Oh, that was a big hit. So this guy's weak against silver because he's a plant, because he's a monster. I'm not sure, but all right. Let's see what skills we get. The only thing I don't like about picking alchemy is then your card rewards will get filled with consumables sometimes. It's also a reason why I don't like herbalism, even though I love the idea of herbalism, of finding random herbs, and alchemy, like mixing effects and creating potions or whatever. I don't like that the card rewards get cluttered with this stuff. You could modify it so it didn't do that, but It's fine. So what's this? We have Intimidate. This causes Weaken. And we befriend an enemy, which just means they're taken out of the battle if their power is less than 16. Well, I'm kind of feeling the potion because healing potions are nice. Even though I just said I don't like them getting cluttered, there's other potions or other. It's more of a problem for herbalism, to be honest, because you will get one use herbs that are like +3 bleed tokens or something, and you're like, I can't even use bleed tokens in this deck. Why is that in here? So let's just take that. Oh, we get 2. That's right. So guess we'll take this, throw it in our deck, and see how we like it. And then track Reckless Shot. I like Reckless Shot because it's quick draw, which means you redraw your weapon, so you can use your weapon, use this, use your weapon again, but it is kind of expensive at 3. This seems good. So 1 cost. Our next thing gets plus damage. We have Intimidate, so it's plus defend. And then Retribution. I like that. Let's put that in the deck. Alright, so this guy will heal, and this guy will do the ability I failed at explaining. So he kills himself. Did he attack me? What happened? He's supposed to create a card. Yeah, I guess he attacked. His ability must count as an attack, but he puts like a mallet, like a bad card in your hand that has a negative effect, but you can play the card to create him on the battlefield, and then like kill him yourself, and he gives you back some HP and mana. It's really kind of weird, to be honest. But usually frogs you can ignore because they'll just kill themselves, and you just have to deal with the card they create. This guy should be pretty easy, so let's just look at anything we have to level up. There we go. He's dead. And then right click this guy. So see, since he's level 2 now, his damage went up by 1 and his health went from 15 to 17. You know, not a huge deal on the lower difficulties. I'm also not a huge fan of how it works, because if he dies and we resummon him again, he'll be right back to level 1. So it can be kind of difficult to manage sometimes. If you have a bad combat round or whatever and your pet dies, there's no easy way to get back to that level. Maybe there is with pet-centric builds and plus experience stuff and whatever, but I just mean like in a normal build that I know of, there's not a great way to. I kind of wish there was a effect or a perk or something where when your ally died and the next time you resummoned him, he was at half the level or something. So at least you didn't have to start back from level 1. But so I don't put a lot of stock in the level of your pets in this regard, because pets, I don't know if this card does, but we'll. So this one doesn't, but a lot of summons will have their own level in the cards. Like the card can be up to level 2, which is different from when you summon it, the level the monster is, and the level that the card is will also increase his stats, but that will stay even if it dies and you resummon it. So I usually focus more on leveling up the card than leveling up the monster on the field. I hope that makes sense. So that's everything that we can level up, besides if we want to dagger ourselves in the face, and I don't really want to. So visit the town. So we have 11 gold, so let's see what we can sell. That sells for very little. I want to keep the longbow because this, the little shooty thing means it's ranged. So some monsters will have flying. So and then flying monsters could only be hit, take damage from abilities that have range. So I try to keep one of these available to me in case I need one. Maybe sell some cards we don't really need. This makeshift trap is kind of doing work, to be honest. It always hits really hard, but I think we can. I don't want to sell it because I think this is one of the cards that we started with. Man, that track is really good. I didn't even realize. And anybody could get it. Hunting Zero. It might be. It might only be a card that hunters start with. Let's get rid of target practice. All right, any consumables we can sell? Not really. So we are very poor boys. So one thing I was thinking is, since we have the dagger that has a sneak attack, and we don't always have a reliable way of getting that sneak attack, I'm pretty sure there's a cheap cloak that has concealment that we just barely can't afford. But this would give us concealment every round, so that when we used our dagger, it would always sneak attack, which is pretty neat. This is a good cloak if you're a beginner too, because it heals you for 5 every round, and it's super cheap. While I'm in here, let's just take a look, see if there's any other. I like this Ring of Warding. The Hex Ward. Does it say it here? The Hex Ward will like protect you from the next instance of a status effect. So like, let's see if it says here. Yeah, the next time you would suffer bleeding, feeble mind, and venom burning, you prevent some of that damage. So it can be good if you don't have a good way. Like when we caused bleeding, when we were bleeding from some completely unknown source, this Hex Ward would have protected us from some of that bleeding damage, which is nice. Let's just refresh it one time, see if there's any other ones I want to point out. It's being decent. Cursed Cloak is good if you can manage, if you have something to gain a lot of health, or you have an item that gives you passive health regeneration. You can use it every turn to draw 2 more cards. It can kind of be cumbersome to have to use it. Like, it becomes a little boring every turn to be like, okay, I gotta use my cloak, I gotta use my cloak, I gotta use my cloak. But extra 2 cards is nice, so maybe it's something you want to go for. All right, I think that's it. Let's just check weapons real quick. Let's do. Don't show me cards I can't use right now. Oh, these are all expensive. What if I refresh it? Nope. Oh, goes down to 56. I'm not a pirate though. Let's do it. Because we can dual wield and cut these. Oh, and I didn't even mention our beginning PP points. On the higher difficulties, you don't start with any, so I think that's why I kind of forgot about it. I like Zestful. You just get more AP for first starting out. All actions. So this one tricked me a little bit when I was first starting out. Actions that grant you XP give 2 more. This means that cards that say like your next action has 3 bonus XP would then give 5 more. It doesn't mean you get like more XP from killing monsters, or you get more XP from completing areas. It's only cards that specifically say like gain experience with your next card, or something like that it would make it give 2 more. Oh, that's just a fake perk that I made, and that's a perk I made for my mod. So it's just, let's see if it works. Let's see if this works. You're able to craft weapons out of volatile matter. I don't think I gave myself the starting thing though, so I don't think it's gonna work. Let's see. Yeah, it's not gonna work because I in my mod I start myself with something. But I think I'm going to, my other videos I did 3 stages, but I think that's a pretty good overview. You should be able to, well, hopefully you learned a little bit and you can get going from there. if you like this video, let me know if you want to see a longer play or a harder difficulty of any of the videos I did or any specific classes. I eventually want to get into the more complicated, crazy classes, but I'm just sticking with basic ones for now. So next up will be either mage or like a healer priest character, and then after those two, I think I want to branch out and start exploring the organizations and the crazier builds. I really like inventor. I really like CC heavy builds with lots of bewitch and freeze and stuff. So we will see. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.